MMA Weekly here with Tyson Griffin. Tyson, you had a pretty exciting fight tonight. Came out against David Lee, a guy from Great Britain, right?
Yeah,
and took him out pretty quick. It wasn't the fastest fight of the night, but pretty quick there in, about a minute and 50 seconds?
Yeah, I didn't hear the final time on that, but it was definitely under 2 minutes.
So step us through the fight a little bit. How'd it go?
It definitely got to the ground exactly like I was expecting it, but I can't say it got there how I was expecting it. He actually came out throwing hard strikes, threw a flying knee, kind of went by me there and took his back and went for a little judo throw or something like that. I climbed on his back, and then just the rest of the fight was there. Got the rear naked, and that was it.
So did you kind of expect that you would take this fight on the ground?
All my fights usually end up on the ground, whether I finish them by submission or TKO or knockout, whatever it is. But yeah, I expected the fight to go to the ground.
Now, did you know much about David Lee coming into this fight?
I've seen a couple of fights on the internet. He's a grappler, so I knew what he was about. But at the same time, I didn't know he was as confident in striking as it seemed to be in the fight. So I definitely knew a little bit about him. He was a submission grappler, so.
So he seemed a little bit better at striking than you expected?
Yeah, he definitely was a lot more confident than I expected in striking.
Now, what about coming into the UFC? This was your first time in the UFC. Although you were on MMA Weekly Radio the other day, and you did mention that you've been in a lot of pressure fights before. How did it affect you coming into this fight, being on such a big stage with all the attention?
Didn't affect me at all, I kind of get tunnel vision when I get into my zone or whatever you want to call it. And just it's a fight, it's competition, it's kind of like training. You put your mind on the side and you just do your thing. And like you said, I've been in big pressure situations before, and pressure just doesn't really bother me. So just kind of went out there and did my thing, and crowd wasn't booing me, so there's nothing really out of the ordinary to kind of throw me off. That was unexpected. So
actually, the crowd seemed pretty behind you, and I mean you're from the area, so I'm sure that helps a little bit.
Yeah. It's always nice to hear positive feedback around you. So.
Now, you made a pretty big splash with your first fight in the UFC. Do you think you'll be right in the mix now in the lightweight division?
Yeah, I hope so. I like tough competition. I don't want easy fights. I don't want to be fighting anybody that's not going to move me up in the ranks or move me up in my career. So, I like to take stepping stone fights, as I like to call them. Dwayne Ludwig was the last one I had, and hopefully I'll get another one pretty soon here.
Now, do you have anybody in particular in the UFC that you'd like to face? Not necessarily just because you have something out for them, but just because you'd like to face that type of competition?
Not really. I guess anybody that you consider top 10 competitor that'll move me up in those ranks, or top 5 or top 3 or whatever you want to call it. So anybody out there that's well-rounded and ready for a war.
What about yourself? Do you feel like you're one of the top 10 guys now?
I definitely think I proved myself, and not only to the fans, but again to myself, that I can compete with the best of the guys out there. And I definitely think I should be thrown in that mix. I don't think I should be fighting the up-and-comers, and I think I am the up-and-comer that gets to fight the big guys and get that test. So I definitely think I'm in that mix.